What's up, people? I am back. I did a similar video. I guess this would be, it was either a few weeks ago or a month ago, where I talked about like the problem with modern female characters in movies and television. And I mentioned I feel like there's the same, not the same exactly, same exact problem, but similar problem with black characters in Hollywood. And I just feel like I needed to talk about it. And the thumbnail of this video is going to be one of the examples. Is I admit I didn't watch the show all the way through. I watched like one episode, but Falcon and Winter Soldier. I did watch the clip of the finale where he was just lecturing people. That is the epitome of the problem right there. And and I hate to say they do this with women characters too. It's both. Like they're not treated as characters. They're treated as like just a vessel for their lecture. Like that episode where Falcon was talk. I'm not calling him Captain America. Captain America, Steve Rogers. To me, I don't care about any other version. This is the same thing. Like this will be a side rant. Like I will probably do this in a video, but mantles are stupid. There's only Steve Rogers to me is Captain America, just like Bruce Wayne is Batman, just like Clark Kent is Superman, Peter Parker. I don't accept any other version. To me, they're just the same. just to me, it's the same character, just with a different. It just doesn't work that way to me. But anyway, back to so you have Falcon, who's basically lecturing like the government about like resources and like he was saying like I'm a black man and the stars are striped. What don't I know? I'm like shit like that bothers me because it was like we're basically saying a that there aren't black people who fight for the military. There are, by the way, which in a metaphorical way they're fighting for the stars and stripes. Then you also have characters who were like literally John Stewart, one of my favorite Green Lantern. Literally, his background is military. So you're saying fuck him? It just becomes a lecture. It's not about the character. It's about we gotta push this agenda. We gotta push either the BLM agenda, the feminist agenda. It's the same shit to me. So like I said, this video is gonna be super unpopular because I'm be a little bit more open with slightly open with my politics. I just feel like I've been noticing this for years, but it's just gotten so much worse. Like what they did with Static in the most recent comics. They made him, his backstory was tied to gangs. Nope, they changed it and tied it to a police. It was either like a police march or like a riot, basically a riot. Because they gotta have him have that BLM tie. It's so stupid when Static was already his own character. Or you know what the other option is for black characters is you get race swaps. So you either get characters that are nothing but victims perpetually, or you get characters who are just race swaps. So you basically just get uh, seconds. Basically, you just get seconds of a character that was white, just race swap. Like look what they're doing with that Black Superman movie, Clark Kent movie they're doing that Jar Abrams is doing, or J.J. Abrams. No, sorry, Jar Jar. J.J. Abrams is doing that nobody wants, and it's just gonna be that because at the end of the day, a lot of the biggest problem with black characters is that the only thing they have to offer is they're black. That's it. Like with Falcon, all they talked about in Falcon and the Winter Soldier is I'm black. He gotta remind you he's black. We gotta remind you he's black. There's one episode, nigga couldn't even get him. Sorry for dropping the N bomb. I tried not to drop that, but it just came out. Sorry. But motherfucker couldn't even get a fucking. He couldn't even get a fucking loan. Are you kidding me? The dude helped save the planet, helped defeat Thanos, and motherfucker couldn't even get a loan. That's supposed to be a metaphor for something. You have an episode where Bucky literally apologizes to Falcon. You could try to say he was apologizing for something. No, you could spin that all you want. He might as well have been apologizing because he was white. That's what that fucking was to me. That's what it came off like. It didn't come off real. You have to literally victimize Sam Wilson, who was best friends with one of Cap's best friends, you know, who had a big role in Winter Soldier, who started off really well, was an Avenger, was accomplished military, but you know, you got to take that all away because we got to make him a victim because that's unfortunately what black characters and I said to an extent with women too. It's constantly about your victimhood now. You can't write these characters as just actual characters. You want to know why Cyborg from Justice League Snyder Cut was over? Because his race was irrelevant. He had a storyline that a lot of people could follow. You know, having a dad who's really busy. You know, yeah, he turned and he thought of himself as no monster, but then he eventually became a hero. That's a story everyone can follow. Characters like John Stewart became a military man and had a pure heart, and that's why he was chosen to get through the ring. You know, you have Spawn, who's one of the biggest characters in the 90s, who was almost as popular as Batman and Spider Man in terms of merch. And you. And he's a character who we're not really using. He was in. I know he was in MK11, but that was it. I would love a new Spawn. Because you know why they're not going to use him? 'Cause there's no race stuff with his character. His character is ultimately, uh, initially about revenge, and then like he's a hellspawn that it's almost like Ghost Rider kills bad guys, you know, that take it's like that. His character's stories race is irrelevant really. And I think that's the problem with Hollywood is they can't they don't want to do black characters where their race is irrelevant because they feel like, oh no, because we got to push this BLM shit, so we got to make every character, even if they're accomplished, like Falcon, you got to make them into a victim somehow. Like really. Oh, I didn't even mention this scene. There was a scene he got fucking stopped. You're really gonna have me believe Falcon, who everyone knows is an Avenger, gets pulled. He didn't get pulled over, but he got stopped because I guess he was arguing with Bucky. And it was apparently it was in a black neighborhood, but for some reason they had to go talk to Sam because you know we got to push that racism narrative. It's really pathetic, and I'm tired of this. And this is one of the reasons I hate to say it. I cringe even saying this that I kind of don't not necessarily say I don't want black characters, but unless they're in the right hands, I don't trust it now. Because my instinct is, oh, are they just going to be a perpetual victim? You're not going to let them be accomplished. We have to let them be a victim so we can shove this narrative. Or they're going to be a race swap of an established character. They're not going to be their own character because Hollywood has to push. I mean, Young Ripa says it best. Hollywood and a lot of these woke weirdos look at black people or look at white characters as the superior ones. They do. To them, characters like Batman and Superman and Captain America and Iron Man, those characters are all just to them are they're the real characters. And what I mean is black characters aren't looked at as legitimate to these people. So that's why they race swap because they don't look it's so fucked up. So you're telling me characters like John Stewart, Cyborg, Spawn aren't legitimate because well, it's also because characters like that, their race is fucking pointless. Their race doesn't matter with Spawn because Spawn fights demons and shit. Fucking skin color wouldn't matter. John Stewart, as a Green Lantern, is traveling in intergalactic space. So yeah, his skin color is irrelevant. But Hollywood doesn't want that. They want these characters to be nothing but just black and nothing else, and have nothing else that stands out about them. And they don't realize these characters fail, and then they want to spin it on racism. When no, I as a black person, I don't want characters like that. Characters that will stand the test of time. You know why characters like Batman and Spider-Man and Superman all stand the test of time? It's because not because they're white. It's because unfortunately in Hollywood today, with white characters, especially specifically white male characters, to these weirdos, they don't have that preconceived oppression narrative. So, so like you can just write them as people. because they're not seen as oppressed. But unfortunately, with black characters, female characters, I guess we'll get up though in LGBT characters to an extent. There, it's all they have with those characters is we gotta like with a black character, his story has to always be about some kind of racism, even though not every black person goes through racism, especially today. Or with a woman character is always something with their gender, or LGBT it's with their sexuality. They can't just have an issue because they have a hard life and they can't, or somebody's a lawyer. Why can't we have a like? Or look at the worst. Another bad example of this. You got Batwoman, who season 2 they made her black. Her the actual character they made her like a criminal basically. They had to make her part of the system, but not even like a good part of the system. Not make her a cop, make her like a doctor for for like who does experiments for crime. You don't not something like that. You couldn't make her a police chief. You couldn't make her a lawyer. Somebody a doctor who does autopsies and shit to help figure out murder. You couldn't do something like that that's actually beneficial. No, you have to make her a criminal so we can do the racism narrative. Because she didn't say she's part of the racist system, and that black kids don't have like it's this weird shit. This is the black characters we're getting now, and I don't think Hollywood thinks black people like this shit, but we don't. At least legitimate ones anyway. Ones who aren't into the woke shit. We just want real characters. This is why characters like Superman, I mentioned again, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all stand the test of time. Their skin color is irrelevant to their story at the end of the day. And that's what we need more of. Because the character's skin color, gender, and all that shit doesn't matter to the story. And unfortunately to these weirdos it does. So we get these bullshit, not even characters, they're just vessels just to push their agenda. That's all it is. And it's the same thing with women characters. Like, it's just they're basically just a vessel for their to push modern feminism. Just like a lot of these black characters now are just vessels to push BLM critical race theory crap. Like that's all it is now. So unless it's by a legitimate writer, I do kind of like cringe. I'm like, oh, is this black character just gonna be a victim again? When you like I'm mentioning again, when you take Sam, who was an Avenger, fought alongside Captain America, Iron Man, some of the greatest heroes in the MCU, helped destroy Thanos. You turn him into a victim who can't get fucking ID, who's his character and his actual character doesn't matter. It's nothing more than his skin color. We have to mention a million times that he's fucking black. How many times we gotta remind you again? Sam's black. He's black. He's black. He has still gets basically pulled over from the police. Motherfucker can't get fucking get a loan. Like, are you kidding me? This is what we're getting now. I want better. Write these characters as characters. There was a time we used to be able to do that. That is why a character like John Stewart, Spawn, Cyborg, Bishop from the X-Men, Blade, the good Blade, and Black Panther and the good Black Panther from the comics. All these characters were because their skin colors are relevant. At the end of the day, their arc and their storylines are what made them. Because at the end of the day, arc and storyline, to me, is what's going to always make a good character over gender, race, and all this garbage. Superficial shit. So that's why I'm also reviewing Blade tomorrow. So I'm definitely hyped for that. I just had to get this video out. I know this was a bit of an event, and there will be some points where a lot of people will disagree, but I just want better characters, legitimately, from both obviously man, women, white, black. I just want good characters, but when you just you just regulate these characters to just basically not characters, just your vessel, just to push your garbage politics, or you don't even treat them as humans. That's why these characters don't last long. The Batwoman from season 2 isn't gonna last forever because she's nothing more than I'm black and lesbian. Yeah, that's like where we gotta go back to just writing characters as people, and when we get back to that, that's when we can get good stories again, and that's all I want. So I just had to get that off my chest. Um, Tomorrow I'm reviewing Blade, a good film, not a good black lead film, a good film, and it's gonna be awesome diving into the Blade trilogy again. So I'm probably gonna watch that tonight, and then review that tomorrow. I'm also gonna do another bands I love, probably on Twisted Sister. So, but as usual. But all right. But as usual, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck fuck Kevin Smith, fuck LeBron James, and yeah. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.